Can we remove the mask or?
When we talk.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Mark, are you ready? Or we wait a bit? The TV guys, are you ready? Yeah. Yeah,
So I can choose a cell. Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Can we do international call?
Are you ready, Mr. Ref? Can we go ahead?
Kick off.
Abdul, can we kick off?
We can go, sir.
Thank you very much and welcome to this press engagement whereby we welcome our esteemed match officials we have met, not only South Africa proud, but the whole SAFA region and the continent at large. We are just waiting for Zakhele to join us. Yes, just a small crisis, but he's on the way. We just thought that we should have this gathering to welcome Mr. Victor Gomes and Mr. Zakhele, the two officials who entered the AFCON final between Egypt and Senegal with pride. You know, we did South Africa a lot of pride, Mr. Ref. So let me introduce you the top table, starting with the head of referee, Mr. Abdul Ibrahim, and next to him is the man himself, Mr. Victor Gomes, the man who entered the final between winners Senegal and Egypt. And next to Mr. Gomes is the chair of SAFA Reference Committee, Ms. Natasha Chiklas, who has produced all these great officials. And next to her is the veteran referee, Mr. Victor Chungwan, who has come to give support to this press gathering. Also with us is female referee, Akona Makalima. Welcome, Akona. Without wasting much time, let me hand over to Ms. Natasha Chiklas to give us the welcoming remarks. Natasha, Akona.
Before that, I would like Akona also to be next to, yes, she deserves to be there. Oh, a strong woman.
Thank you, Abdul.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. Good afternoon. Of course, very warm welcome to all of you that you took a time to come and celebrate with us. Our officials, our top officials on the continent. Most probably I'm the most happy person, not only because as a head of referees committee, but representing also my president, Danny Jordan, and the executive. I was very proud to say, job well done. Our referees, they have been criticized many times, but this is a time to celebrate and say that as South Africans, we always produce the best. Whatever we do, it's the times when everyone will say, well done, South Africa. We become an example. And today is the day that we must congratulate our top referees. We have many of them. And at the moment, Victor Gomes, he made us very, very proud, and Zakhele Siwela to officiate the final in the continent. And this is a big achievement. We all know that. And of course, as Victor always and Zakhele Siwela always, they are very, very professionals. We were very proud. We didn't see anybody complain except some players, of course. That's a normal thing. But the main issue here is, as a South Africans, again, we lead by example. We did the same in the women's football. We did the same in many other achievements, as being the first country in the continent to host a World Cup. So it's always something. And for your information, we also have a match commissioner to officiate the final in the past. But today we are here, all very, very happy and very proud as a South African. And Victor, you will know what I'm talking. You've been there all your life. Victor Hlongwane. He's also one of our top referees we all know. So from my heart, really, as a chairperson of referees committee, I am a very proud person, and I really like to thank Victor Gomes and Zakhele Siwela for do their job as professionals and make us all proud as South Africans. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Now let's hand over to the head of referees, Mr. Abdul Ibrahim. Over to you, Abdul.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dominique. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Let me first welcome everybody to this press conference, which is all about Victor Gomes and Zakhele Siwela. I think I speak for the entire refereeing fraternity in South Africa when we say that we are extremely proud. Madam Chair said from the bottom of our heart, from everywhere, every corner of South Africa, every referee is extremely proud of the match that was handled by Victor Gomes and his team. And, you know, for us, it was an amazing moment when we received the news of that appointment, because having watched all the matches of the AFCON, and I know some people may say that this is going to be a biased comment of mine, but when you analyze a match technically and from a refereeing point of view, Victor Gomes was among the top. And I was saying to him, and you can read the WhatsApp messages when I said to him, now we look forward to the final. Am I correct, Victor?
100%.
I was telling everybody that I spoke to in South Africa that Victor Gomes and Zakhele Siwela are going to do the AFCON final. That's how much confidence I have. Why? We have all seen them officiate. You know, I can use all kinds of beautiful adjectives to describe the moment, but you know, they made us extremely proud. The way they handled the match. The one talking point of the match that stands out for everybody is the Mo Salah incident. Extremely well handled. It's called game management, player management. And we all know Victor has a lot of that, and he does that very well. You know, so it was a message to every player out there that no matter how famous you are one of 11, and you need to play within the laws of the game. That's how it works, and it was that simple. You know, just to add, the achievement of Victor Gomes and Zakhele Siwela speaks volumes for the training and preparation that they go through. We also need to be mindful of all the instructors, technical and physical, that have been involved in their preparation. And now I don't only speak South African, I also speak SAFA, I also speak CAF, because there have been many instructors on the continent who has been involved in their preparations for this. You know, so it was excellent to see their performance, but we also need to understand how very good their support team was, and still is still going to be. So we need to be mindful of that as well. And then we must also be thankful. You can see us all sporting our Showmax attire. You know, the financial injection from Showmax into refereeing is big, because now we can focus on refereeing development. We need to look for the next Victor Gomes, Zakhele Siwela. We need to find them. We need to bring them to the national panel. and then we need to showcase them to Africa and in the world. I would like to think that this appointment that Victor and Zakhele received is actually a very big tick come November and December 2022, where they are going to represent us at the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. So yeah, you can see how much confidence I have in our match officials. Just some history. We do know that if I go back to 1994, we have had match officials that have been representing us on the African continent and on the world stage on a regular basis. Petros Matabela, 1994, did the 3rd and 4th place playoff. Jerome Damon was also involved in the 3rd and 4th place playoff in 2008. And that was the same year that Enoch Molefe, an assistant referee, was actually on the final when Cameroon played Egypt. But this is a first for us to have a referee on the AFCON final. We have also had assistant referees and referees represent us at various World Cups, dating back to 1998. Ahmed Sali, the late Ian McLeod, Ari Soldatos, Jerome Damon, Daniel Bennett. You know, these are all excellent match officials. And you can see, going back to 1994, South Africa has been consistently producing not good, but excellent match officials. You know, so yeah, I actually said to everybody that I was not going to talk a lot, so I think I'm going to cap it there. No, it's just that we are extremely proud as a refereeing fraternity. There's a lot of hard work that Madam Chair puts in the background with the referees committee as well. So to Victor, if I can speak directly to you, Zakhele is not here, but I know he knows this. You must know that we are extremely proud of firstly the appointment that you got, and secondly the way, the professional manner in which you carried out your duties. Thank you.
Thank you, Abdu, and we are also proud of you at the way you are producing top officials. Today is your day, members of the media. You always say we don't get to talk to referees. Victor Gomes and Zakhele, when he comes in, are all yours today. You can ask them anything. Over to you, Mr. Referee.
Sure. I'm not one for much words sometimes. So thank you very much for making the time. It's all protocol observed. Thank you very much for having me here, and soon my colleague will join us. Yeah, I'm very ecstatic, and I want to say thanks to SAFA for giving me the opportunity to represent our country. First of all, I represent my family, my country, my association, my LFA, and also my family again. Very important. And our continent, and I think football in general. So I'm happy that Zakhele and myself and my colleague, not forgetting my colleague from Lesotho, Mr. Soru, these two are my brothers when we go to war, and it just makes the game a little bit easier when you all know what you're doing and you're in sync. So yeah, it's people think you just wake up one day and you get a final. It doesn't work like that. It's lots of seminars. Thanks to Madam Chiklis for always supporting the referee seminars and ensuring that they take place with her committee. And thanks to our HOD for understanding. He's been a top referee himself, so he understands what it's like to go out there. From getting a visa to go to a match, maybe now we'll start getting service passports and we won't have to struggle with visas anymore.
It's one to look at.
And yeah, it's been a long journey, and to get there it takes minimum 8 years. So I guess Sunday will be one that I'll never forget. So once again, thank you very much for this event. It's really appreciated.
Thank you, Mr. Ref. I know you do most of your talking in the field of play. Thank you very much. But we have got Ms. Akona Makalima and Victor Jongan to give support to their colleagues. Bear in mind that Akona has been earmarked to handle the FIFA World Cup, Women's World Cup in New Zealand and Australia, and she might handle the final of the FIFA World Cup.
Yes.
That's the words of encouragement, Akona. your colleagues.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dominic, for giving me this opportunity. I'd like to greet the Madam Chair and our HOD, and also I would like to greet my two colleagues, my brothers, Victor and Zakhele, and Mr. Hlongwane. This day is not about me. This day is about our two brothers, so I don't want to be long. But the only few words that I can say is that they have set the tone for us that are upcoming. And I love the consistency from the two brothers. Zakhele and Gomes, they are very consistent. If there's anything that we as young referees or upcoming referees, we can take from these two gentlemen is consistency. And they always have a plan. They always have a goal. And what sets them apart is that they don't just write down only the goals, but they have the plan. So I would urge all of us that are coming to take the baton or the baton from the two gentlemen. And I would not be doing justice if I would not thank our association for identifying our skills and our talent. And the South African Football Association doesn't owe us anything, but they go an extra mile to make it a point that when we go outside the country to represent South African Football Association, we are at our best. And I would also like to highlight the words of Mr. Gomes when he said, we thank Madam Chiklas and her committee to make it a point that all our workshops are in place and we get quality instructors. We have quality instructors in South Africa, technically and physically. And trust me, we are still going to be the best and we will keep rising. So thank you so very much, gentlemen. We are really proud of you. We are well represented and we've seen your strides and we will take it from there and go forward. Thank you.
Great words, AFCON. Thank you very much. Over to you, Shamari.
Thank you very much, Shamari. Firstly, I would like to thank Madam Chair and the HOD for giving me this opportunity. Just to say a few words. The two boys, I call them my boys. They got me in the panel. Gomes arrived in 2009. His first game, I was the fourth official, appointed to guide him by Aris Altos. And the seeds that I planted that day, I'm so happy to can see, to enjoy, you know, when you plow, you want to enjoy. So today I'm enjoying the seeds that I plowed. Zakhele came in 2001 in the panel. I was there to welcome him as a very, very young boy. When he refereed in Tembisa, I will take him home. And today I'm so happy to be celebrating their achievement. Program director, you know, I'm one person who does not want to minimize the minimum or maximize the maximum. They have said a mouthful. All I can say is today, you know, in Africa, when we are happy, we celebrate. We sing. When we are sad, we also sing. So today I can only say, Ugomesilo, Ugomesilo, Awamazio, Awazange Bambo, Uzakelelo, Uzakelelo, Awamazio, Awazange Bambo, Awazange Bambo, Awazange Bambo, Awazange Bambo, Awazange Bambo. Thank you.
As I said earlier, ladies and gentlemen, that today is your day to fire anything you want from the referees. They always accuse us that no, you don't give us Gomes, you don't give us Zakhele Siwela, we don't talk to Madam Chair, we don't talk to the head of referees. AFCON Makalima is here, you can fire whatever you want.
But I'm here to protect them.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, Dominic, can you just give my red and yellow cards there, please?
In case.
We'll start with Mr. Mark Stradom, we are veteran. You can fire anything, Mark. I can just go ahead. Do you want it?
Yeah, okay. In the absence of a mic, I can just shout.
Yes.
Victor, congratulations on refereeing the AFCON final. Obviously, the photo doing the rounds globally as you
Sorry, John, if I can just.
Obviously, the photo doing the rounds is you seeming to offer Mohamed Salah your yellow card, red card, and whistle. And I just want, maybe you can give us more detail of what conversation exactly happened there and what Mr. Salah said and what you said, and yeah, just give us some insight into what that was all about.
Thanks, Jonty. Yeah, you go straight for the kill, eh? You know, I respect all the players that I officiate with, and I don't like to talk about decisions I make on the field. However, I do like to highlight some points for educational purposes. I believe in general we have a responsibility to ensure that we report positively on football matters so that everybody understands what we are doing and we can come to a consensus. Football has evolved tremendously in the last 10 to 20 years. The players have evolved. If you look at what salaries they earn, they are highly respected. We're talking about top players around the world, not only in Africa. And I think that refereeing also has to evolve. We cannot stick to the old adage of officiating style and management style. So all I can say is that on Sunday, I chose to manage a top-class player in a way I thought would be deemed appropriately responsible. And I think football was the ultimate winner on the day.
Shall I go? No. Victor, Mark Stradom, Times Live. There have been refereeing issues in the country over the years, but I think your presence in the AFCON final
Mark,
shows
sorry,
there's...
Mark, you can just remove your mask.
Your presence in the AFCON final and Zakhele's, and it did us proud, and congrats on that. It shows there's a development. Is there an improvement in training that's been happening over the last few years? I know people like Jerome Damon are involved and as instructors, and just what is the background to that? It seems like there has been a development, and I think credit needs to be given where it's due. Thanks.
Thanks, Mark. I've read many of your articles. Very informative.
Sorry, I froze with the stage fright earlier.
Thanks for your question, and I'm one that never shies away of going straight to the point. Once again, it is with the constant seminars that we keep having at SAFA level and at CAF level and even at FIFA level that we are improving. And I humbly ask, and I use this platform, for people to be more responsible in their reporting in terms of certain incidences. I personally feel that many times the referee is making the correct decision and people don't understand the application of the laws of the game. And that's where the problem is coming in. And I promise you, and hear this today, African referees, we are a force to be reckoned with, let alone South Africa. And I mean this, like as Madame Chikla said earlier, from the bottom of my heart. We African referees are really doing well now. If you look at 52 games played in an AFCON, and possibly one had a problem for medical reasons, etc., I think we've done very well. Thank you.
This one I know you can give him. Switch it on, please. Switch it on.
Yeah, it's on. Temba Shabalala, Joseph from Sports. Congratulations, guys. You did us proud as a country. It would have been much nicer, though, if you came back with the whole Bafana team, you know. It would have been much nicer. Vic, I mean, I just want to find out something from you. With all the good work that you guys have been doing, refereeing still remains, you know, a hobby in the eyes of, you know, many, that you guys are not waking up from home saying, I'm going to my refereeing office. You do a match, you go and arrest people, you are a police officer, with due respect. You are a teacher, you're thinking about school books while you are in...
Or make plastic bottles and sell water.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, where is this going? How much of a pain is it for you, as good as you are? I mean, I look at Ref Makalima there, she's doing a great job. She's setting the trends for women who now want to be referees. But if you can look at South African state, when it comes to refereeing, you guys are still casuals, if I may use a layman term. For the organization, are they talking something to you that
maybe one day we're working towards this. You're wearing Showmax right now. What does it bring to you as referees? Forget about it being a beautiful T-shirt, but just that after all the work that you've done, do you feel it's justified that refereeing in South Africa, top-class country in Africa, still it's just another hobby?
Thanks. It's Mr. Chabalala. Eh?
By the way, Abdul, Mr. Chabalala has been looking for you high and low, so I'm sure he's not
Thanks, Mr. Chabalala, for your question. First of all, I'd like to start with the first point that you made. As far as I'm concerned, we've always had a 2022 vision. Also, from a refereeing point perspective, and I think we're well on track with that, and we've been working towards that. To go to other points, yes, the structures of professional refereeing is something that we need to look at, obviously, in the future, not only in South Africa, but in the whole of African continent. You know now that FIFA and CAF have got a joint, should I say, project where they are paying, I think it's the top 24 referees. Like myself, I'm on that list. We are getting a monthly stipend or salary, should we say. Locally, we get stipend from the local league as well. So there is some monetary money that does come along with it. And I've also been, after this AFCON, I've been offered some ambassador roles as well, which I'll be considering with my legal department. So it starts. Everywhere has a start. I think if we look at things from a different perspective, then we can improve. There is always space to improve on refereeing, just like there's always space to improve in players, in any department, in administration, in anywhere. So I think it's just the adage of, are we want to bring something down, or do we want to push something up? So it's entirely how we look at it.
Do you want to make any additions, Madam Chair?
Well, I think Victor, he actually answered correctly, but we always looking for improvement. We always looking for what is the best for our referees. And of course, that the future, we are in 22. And yes, Vision 22 has been fulfilled when it comes to the refereeing up to now. But we still carry on because it's another step to take. And then another one, it's VAR. That's something that it will come as well, that we will need to, but that it will come from the president himself. It's a lot of issues that we need to take care of and progress. All the time we must be one step ahead, not only as South Africans, but the whole Africa, because we are. But sometimes the pain is they make us think we are behind. We're not behind. We are forward. We are better than a lot of countries in Europe, and that is a fact. So, in my opinion, and from what is happening, is that we are in the right direction. So, here we produce the best. You don't know that most of our referees, they've been asked by other associations to officiate games. The whole time, sometimes we suffer to have referees for our games. And for the first time in the history as well, is that we have 20 FIFA referees. For the first time. It never happened before. So that means something is going right. And we always going to try and be one step ahead. This is something that the South Africans, we're always proud to do.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know today is about Mr. Victor Gomes, the reference department, but let me acknowledge our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Tolani, who was also part of the AFCON medical team.
Yes, that's correct.
Please don't talk to him now. So don't talk to him today. Doctor, don't give interviews today. Some other day. Welcome, Doc.
You say study all man.
Fernando, next question.
Good afternoon. Congratulations on the performance at AFCON. My name is Kaniso Chwag from Sport 24. My first question for you, Victor. It's not a negative, but as a referee, what goes through your mind when you see a performance like Gianni Sikazwe's in the Tunisia-Mali game that had not severe repercussions per se, but again had African officiating in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. And for Nagia Kona, when you're seeing a woman referee actually officiating in an AFCON game, how much does that encourage you to actually push your officiating levels even higher?
Thanks. I think let's start with the Akona. Gomes.
Okay. Sorry.
Thank you so much, sir. Basically, when you see another woman at that level of a tournament, it's really encouraging, and also it says that women are capable of doing anything, and we are coming. And the fact that she was there, Victor will tell you, she was doing the same training with them. She was reading the same book with them. So I don't see a reason why they cannot be there. But I was just excited to see her because not so long ago we were together, and it was a promise to all of us that we want you guys to work very hard. If you work very hard, we are going to put you in the men's tournament. And we don't even want to say these are men's tournament, we will just call the competitions, but we want all the referees to be there and represent themselves. So when I saw Salma on the list, I was excited. And I celebrated with her because I knew that my time will also come. And I always say to the HOD, if South Africa has the top league, why can't we produce top referees in Africa? If we believe that in South Africa we have the top league or one of the top leagues, this is the reason why Victor and Zakhele were doing the final, because they come from the toppest league. So when it's my time, I'll also celebrate because it's coming. Women, we are coming. So thank you.
Thanks. I won't try to pronounce your surname because I will get it wrong, so apologies for that. Going back to your question, I'd like us to go back a little bit to Mr. Stradom's question. Before I answer your question, I'll make your answer in context. When the player went down in UEFA in the Euro, Eriksson, if I remember correctly, yes, the whole world sympathized with him. Am I correct? Yeah. So what's wrong with the referee having medical condition? Why is the whole world not sympathizing then? Again, I say, it's the way in which you look at it. Do you think it's normal to experience that situation? So apologies, it's very close to my heart. We are human. We also make errors of judgment. And we also suffer the same things that players suffer. I think the question is answered.
Thank you, Mr. Referee. Well said. We've been waiting for you, Zex. If you can just tell us your experience in Cameroon. Everyone has been waiting for you. Welcome.
Sorry, I'm late. Just had a bit of a crisis at home. I'm sure they can hear me. Okay. I think Cameroon was a tournament to remember for both me and Victor, I think, because we eventually went to the last game. I think looking forward to Cameroon was a build-up towards Cameroon was special because me and Victor had spoken before we traveled that, hey, we're going for a final. And I said to him, let's take it one match at a time, because we had a situation where in 2019 we said we are going for a final and we had an issue in a Ghana game. So I said to him, look, let's take it one game at a time and see how it goes. I think for us, Cameroon was different because it was the first time ever CAF played 52 matches with VAR, which is something that has never happened in Africa. So there was a lot of history with this African Cup of Nations. I think besides us making history, even CAF was making history of their own, I think. And as well as it was South Africa all the way, President the person was singing, the referees, so South Africa was well represented in this AFCON. Cameroon was special. I think we looked forward. We built up very well. We trained very well. We prepared very well for each and every game. I think, like Victor would always say, it's the same game, but we always have to be up to our toes and work hard and look forward to giving the best in the matches. So I think for us it was okay until I got to a space where I contracted malaria, and it was a bit of a snake in the team build up towards the quarterfinal match, Senegal against Equatorial Guinea. But then I got some medical treatment. 3 days down the line, I was better, feeling better. I started training, and that was also an encouragement from Victor and the rest of the CAF team and the HOD as well for giving a call. Thank you. And when we got the final news that we're doing the final, I think we got excited. We looked at the room. There were other people who could have done the final, but when we were chosen, we looked at it and said, it's ours now. Let's give our best. And unfortunately, we did that exactly. We played a final with no problems, no issues. Nobody can talk about the referees today, but they can talk about the winning teams. Thank you.
Let's proceed with our questions. Banana, can you give it to you? Go ahead.
Who asked the same question I wanted to ask about journey?
Thanks, Rolin Timkulu from ENCA. My questions, I suppose, are to both refs, AFCON refs. And there are two questions in one. The first one is, do you find that, or did you find that, for example, with the Mo Salah situation, that big name players are kind of used to intimidate refs in matches like that, and especially in a tournament like AFCON? And do you find that there are differences in the way that teams use the officiating? So are there teams, for example, with Egypt and multiple incidents, are there teams that are just kind of going to try and intimidate the ref in that way? Are there teams that just kind of sit back, or is there, how do you assess that?
Thank you very much for your question. It's actually a very good one and something I'd like to highlight. We spoke about modern refereeing and all of that. And nowadays, top coaches, the first thing they do, they ask who's the referee. A referee's personality affects the match. A referee is like a DJ, I tell people. We play a tune, you dance to that tune. And once everybody's in harmony, we're all dancing on the same wavelength. And these are all part of psychological things that players try to do to us. And many times it's just unfortunate. I wish I could have a little microphone where Mr. Stradom could hear what players are saying to me so that he understands why I'm reacting that way. And then you'd understand exactly what happens. Because many times you don't see on TV what they're actually biting you all the time. So we use different skills and different ways of handling issues. You know, whether it be from a player or from a ball boy. When a team is losing and then they tell the ball boys, take the balls away. Or they tell the ball boys, throw another ball in the field while they're attacking us. And then people just say, no, he made history, he sent the ball boy off. No, there is psychology behind all of it. And then when you start reporting responsibly, then you see that that's what actually happens, is that they're doing it to cut the game or the flow of the game or to try and kill the team. Goalkeepers going down. All these strategies is what you're referring to. So I hope that helps you. Maybe Zach can add anything, I'm not sure. Okay.
Another question?
Yes, thank you. Velile from SABC. My question is around VAR. I know that Chairperson tried to say something around it, but well, I'm thinking these guys, they go and officiate VAR, then they come back home, then they have to adjust. This is not here at home, and my concern is also as FIFA candidate referees, they get scored even according to that, and their counterparts have got VAR on a weekly basis, which sometimes I feel that it put them at a slight disadvantage. Is there a concrete
or concrete timelines? Because I'm basing that because there was a time when, maybe this is the second question, there was a time when there was Jerome Damon, there was Daniel Bennett, and they were all at CAF A elite level. Now it's just, on the men's side, it's just Victor and Zakhele. Maybe, I don't know, going forward, because I was looking at the list of the referees officiating there, you find that there are countries that have got more than 2 trios at that level. So what is the long-term plan or immediate one around VAR to ensure that the 20 that we have now are not just the 20 in numbers, but 20 who will be considered as at the elite A level?
Thanks, Belilo, and thanks for coming to visit us there in Cameroon. It was nice to have you there. I'd like to sum up the gist of most of it, and then maybe we can hand over to Madame after, but I want to make it very easy, and I would also like to elaborate on crucial points that you highlighted. So, for example, with VAR, the concept is to delay your whistle. Whenever there is an attacking opportunity, you delay your whistle. So I'm now programmed that way. So next week, when you see me delay my whistle in a PSL match, don't say, but Gomes, you blew the whistle 5 minutes late. I'm now programmed that way, because if the minute you stop play before an ultimate result has ended, you cannot go back. So we would then wait for the outcome of the promising attack, within its time limit, obviously, and then we can blow. So when you now see me, for example, delay my whistle, you understand why, because I've been programmed that way. And it's so unfortunate, because for all my life, you blow straight away. You don't want the goal to go in if there's a problem. So now we have to train our minds to be differently. So that's the first aspect of it. The second aspect of it is, yes, we were actually told now at AFCON that countries who do have VAR will benefit from having VAR use in their country. And it's something that we will report back to Madam Chair and to the committees and to our HOD, because we did see that at AFCON, some countries had higher representation because they use VAR in their leagues. So that is something after that the structures will deal with. But I think I've basically summed up everything there for you and touched on the important issues. Thanks, Madam.
I think today, and thank you, this is a very good question. But as I indicated earlier, this is something that will come very soon, and you will have here the President and the executive, because it's part of their business. It's something that we are, let's say, believe. As very few countries in Africa, they have VAR, and we want to do it in the correct way so we can be the best again. We don't want to rush to something, but this is, of course, is something that will happen soon. So today we're here to celebrate our referees, to celebrate because those 20 referees that the FIFA badge referees, for the first time we have, they are definitely in the elite of Africa now, because you will find out games that they happen in, we have a request, and the names is, most of the times is their names. So definitely, as they got the badges now, countries, they request the services. As I indicated earlier, many times we have problems because our referees, they are very much, let's say, countries, they want our referees all the time. And am I correct to say that, gentlemen? The whole time, and HOD, you know about the appointments, you get the request. A lot of times he phones me to tell me we're having a problem again, we have to change so many games because referees, they have to go away. So basically, we are in the correct direction, and as I indicated, VAR is something that it is a must, and the president and the executive and, you know, the people who they are involved there, they will have the answer very soon. But it's something that He will give us or bring us to another level. You hear before one of the previous top referees talking about we don't need VAR. I don't know if you heard that story. He's not living here. He's living overseas. This is absolutely not correct. We do need, and we need to progress each and every day. And as a South Africa, we have to be there on top.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can we take the last two questions? Last three questions. Thank you.
Ladies first.
Thank you so much, Chair, for that. My name is Ndobuhle Chiane from Soweto TV. So my question will be for the two AFCON refs. Congratulations, and you guys did a really great job. My question is really simple. I mean, we see artists, they write new lyrics every time to stay relevant. Chefs, they cook new recipes, of course, to stay in the game. And what is it that you guys, what do you do to make sure that you stay relevant, consistent, and making sure that you are always on top of your game?
Excellent, good question. You make me think now. It's all part of football understanding, I guess. It gets summarized under that because players come with new tactics. We see players lying down on the field, never seen before. We see players coming with different strategies. Don't think for 1 minute we go to a game and we just decide, hey, Nompempe, I'm going to blow the whistle. No, we look at the team returns before the game, try and study. We know that if a certain player is going to play, his strategy is go straight down the middle. If a different player plays, he's going to always be crossing. So the more you anticipate, the better the reading of the game, the better the understanding of the game, the better you are. Sometimes you don't have to be the fastest referee. You need to understand and read what's going to happen.
Mark, second last question.
Maybe Zakhele can answer from an assistant referee.
Okay, next.
Yes, President.
I think to answer your question, Mama, I think in as much as coaches sit and study the game, study each team, we do the same thing. We study the game, we study the tactics, so that we can be able to apply what they do as well. I mean, like Victor said, you find new free kick styles now. Players are lying on the ground. Sometimes players will just push up. So you need to know what type of teams you're dealing with, what type of players you're dealing with. Like, for example, we went for a final. We knew that they have money, they have Salah. They are always going to play for pace. So we had to plan around that. First 5 minutes, penalty. Was he not there? He was there because he had understood what was going to happen in the match. So we prepare as much as teams and players, coaches do. We as referees do the same. We prepare, work hard, train like anybody else. Thanks.
How many questions do we have? This is the final three.
You made
Chamber.
it to extra time.
Extra
Mark.
time.
Mr. Program Director, it's 2 plus extra time, huh?
Thanks. Zakhele or Victor, can you just take us through the process of getting selected for an AFCON and then getting selected for a final? We know there's a panel and we know, but just exactly, we don't really know the details. I don't think a lot of the public know that. And Victor, I'm glad you didn't bring your red card. I will just ask, when you came on the scene, there was a bit of surprise, not just from the media, but the public too. The approach seemed very brash, and we've noticed the maturity in your game. If we as the media were to admit possibly we didn't quite understand and maybe we were a little critical, would you admit maybe when you came along, I know with age people develop and with experience, but perhaps the approach surprised a lot of people. Thanks.
Thanks, Mark. You want me to answer both of them? Okay. So, to get to an AFCON, the process starts at your local LFA. You need to belong to a local football association. For example, around here, Robert Cham and all the LFAs that you are. And you work your way up. You go through your different levels. You do your elementary exams. Currently there's 7 exams that you do, 7 being the highest. And there is particular guidelines in terms of times that you can do your exams. You can't write level 1 today and then tomorrow level 2 already. So there's some stages to go through, and then you go through the ranks, up the leagues throughout SAFA. And then, yeah, it takes many years. I mean, I got to PSL in, Victor, what was the year? 2008 or 2009, yeah, 2000. And before that, so basically I've been officiating for 23 years already. So it does take time to get in. You go through the ranks, and then as you've done well throughout your league, you get to PSL, and once you get to PSL, you get promoted to FIFA, and once you get to FIFA, then you start doing CAF games, and then you then get on to what we call the project. The project is the World Cup, and that's when you're already at an elite level at CAF, and then you become now part of, for example, for Qatar, when they started, there were 13, and I think we've now come down to 8 already, possibly. So it's just a process of a long journey and going through the ranks, doing all your tests, doing your fitness tests, all of those things, and also being in your games, you get marked. We have match commissioners who mark our games, and we can improve from there. Going on to your next comment, you know, I think forgive me, I'm going to speak from the heart. I know that Penaldinho has come and gone and all these things. And you know what? I'm very proud of the media that we have in South Africa. And I take my hats off to you. Because it's you guys that keep us on our toes. And sometimes for lack of maybe misunderstanding, it's fine. Possibly on our part, on your part. I do shave my hair every day because there's lots of grey hairs coming out. So yes, I have matured. But I think it's more likely that players understand me now. And if you really scrutinize my games, I'm really the biggest joker on the field. And if you respect me, we will have a beautiful game of football. But those silent words that come my way when you guys can't hear what's being said to me need to be dealt with. And there's one thing that I make many errors of judgment, don't get me wrong, and I've made many mistakes. Sometimes, in fact, every time when I go home and I watch my game, if I've made something wrong, trust me, it really bites me. And I'm a father, I'm a husband. I want to make my family proud. I want to make our chairperson proud. I want to make our HOD proud. So it really kills me that sometimes I get a decision wrong. But there's one thing that I've always aimed for, and I'm grateful to God for giving me this. I have been consistent. And it is the one thing I always said to myself. It's a promise I made to myself to be consistent. If you got Gomes 5 years ago and you get him now, he's the same Gomes. Trust me. And that's what I really believe. So forgive me, I'm being humble from the bottom of my heart.
Second last question.
Oh, Zex, just a quick one for you. I saw one beautiful tweet about you where this guy said, from Gomorrah to the world. You are a township boy. Having been where you've been with refereeing and today being known all over the continent, yourself, I don't know about the guy from Lesotho, but I believe that he probably has the same background as you when it comes to football. I mean, what does it say to you about South African football standard that you have taken to the world? And just a quick one to you as well, similar question, your use or understanding of African diverse languages. How much of an advantage is that to you on the field of play, in a sense that a player cannot say, "Allo reverend Kenya, allo lento le yaksiyo." How much of that comes handy to you that you are a typical Kasi boy that knows how to deal and handle a Zulu boy, a Sotho guy, a Venda person on the field of play, depending on their diversity, whether culture and all of that. And another one, just maybe to both of you, just to say, I'm finishing this. There was a big joke about one of the referees that made errors in the tournament, and referees were already being scrutinized based on that. How much of that played around in your minds that when you got selected as games progressed, that if a big name referee like that would be scrutinized in the way he did, where were you then in the headspace? Sorry for these questions. We don't get to speak to referees, guys, so when you've got them, ask them.
Yeah, I'll start with my question. I think I come from a school of long list of referees. When I started refereeing in Alexandra, there were quite a big list of top referees, and I got taught by the best of the best in the country. Sylvester taught me how to become a referee. Israel Mgoni taught me how to read a book, how to read the laws of the game, apply them. So from where I come from, I knew that one day I will be a top referee because I was taught by the best. And now that I'm a top referee, I'm now teaching back and giving back some of my youngsters. I will tell you one day, you will sit here and say, talk to one of my youngsters and say, hey, you've made it to the African Cup of Nations. How do you feel? He will mention my name, trust me.
I just want to, before answering your question, I just want to acknowledge Zakes. He's finally here. And I just want to say, Zakes, you know we are brothers. And I cannot do a match without you or Soro or with my other refereeing colleagues. In the same token that I have my colleagues here in South Africa. It's not easy to go to a big tournament. And thanks for making it easier. I just wanted to acknowledge you and Soro. So thank you very much. Coming back to your question regarding the upbringing in football, we are passionate about football. Being Portuguese also, it's in my blood. You eat, sleep, drink, football, 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 football. And I'm very proud of this country that I represent. I am a true South African. And it really gets to me when people talk bad about our country. Because they have never crossed the border and seen what is out there. And South Africa, I can't tell you. If I just tell you that I have a flag, a South African flag in my house, people will tell you know where I stay. I've always had a South African flag outside my house. That is how proud I am to be South African. And I think that speaks all the words of what I do and what I contribute to my country.
Last question.
Afternoon, everyone. My name is Atengo Sitozi from the Sowetan. I would like to ask Prazex this question. Prazex, as you just explained now, from where you come from to where you are right now as a top referee reaching the pinnacle with the AFCON final, what's next is sort of like in your goals, just going forward in your career? And also I have a question for Sis Akona. Sis Akona, Eastern Cape, many young girls, the LFAs that side, they use you as an example as umzekelo to say no, sifuna abantwana abantombazana baze babe ngoreferi bafane nawe apho kuyo ngoku. How have you taken that role of sort of being a role model for young girls growing up?
Let's start with Akona.
Thank you so much, Pretty, for your question. So I know this thing, it comes with a lot of pressure that you have young girls looking up on you, and they say, one day I want to look like Osus Akona, one day I want to do what Akona is doing, and they don't know what exactly I put in to be where I am. So I've decided, I think it was about 2016, when I looked at how I entered refereeing and the support that I received in refereeing, I said to myself, I wish I had a sister in refereeing that can guide me through this journey. But unfortunately, at the time, I only had brothers in the Eastern Cape. So I was like, one day I want to be the only South African referee to run and pass the men's fitness test. And I did exactly that. And then again, I was like, I would love to be at the World Cup, or I would love to have a FIFA badge. But I did not know all of those things, but I know Umfiki had a badge, and I knew at the back of my mind that I would love to have this white badge. And I worked so hard, I got it. But the journey was not a nice and a smooth journey because there were no sisters at the time in the Eastern Cape. So I sat down to myself and I said, I would like to be a sister to a girl that doesn't look like me, to a girl that doesn't have the same background as me, but I want to be a sister. And then I came up with the Interrefs. The reason why I said my program is the Interrefs, it's because I aspired to be an international referee. So I have a program in the Eastern Cape that I run. The program calls the InterRefs, the International Referees. It's a program that inspires, mentors women and young girls in the country. So the association knows about this. They endorsed me in the Eastern Cape to run the program called the InterRefs. And I partnered up with a lot of people from the USA. They come down to support the program in the Eastern Cape. So the name of the program is InterRefs. I do it. I mentor each and every girl that you know in the Eastern Cape that is a referee, and the upcoming ones. They know about the InterRefs. And the hashtag of the InterRefs says, "Be the next me and multiply." So yes, I do. I have that. Maybe I should have worn the T-shirt written InterRefs. But I love Showmax. That's the brand I represent. Thank you.
I think, just to answer your question, I didn't get your name, my leader. Atenkosi. Okay. Just to answer Atenkosi. Atenkosi, this is my third road to the World Cup. The first one was 2014. I was with Daniel Bennett. I couldn't make it because Bennett went as a reserve. I was cut off. It was sad it was, but I had to say congratulations to my brother who was going on behalf of the country. Then I had an opportunity for the second road, which was 2018 Russia. Luckily, I managed that one. So now I'm with Victor for the third road to the World Cup, Qatar 2022. I think for me now, the focus is Qatar, but I can't focus on Qatar if I don't focus on my PSL games, on my performance and my consistency, because that's what takes me to Qatar, being consistent at all times. So I'm looking forward to each and every game that I get to give my best and be the same Zakhele that the whole country knows, the same accurate Zakhele that everybody talks about, the same Zakhele Siwela that inspires a lot of youngsters to become referees and assistant referees. So my goal is Qatar, but along the way, we have to clean and make sure that everything is clean going towards Qatar.
Thank you, Zach, and thank you to the panel. If you can just come in front, Madam Chair, Victor Gomes, and the team, for a team picture.
Let's do a team picture.
Especially with me, all the time. All the time. Do we need mask?
What is this?
Oh, you are stolen? No, it hasn't come in my luggage. No, I'm serious. Okay, yeah. My luggage is not around. It's coming today.
Just quickly.
You put it in your luggage. Yeah. Okay. It is big. Can I give Victor this?
Yeah, that's your turn.
Yeah. Teamwork. Thanks, Mr. Mutsepi. There's gonna be some photoshopping. Yeah, the one here. I've already
This is
taken
for
to
the
what?
SAFA MC.
All right.
No. It's not good because I like the one and not the other.
All right.
Thank you.
Say that to you. No.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll see you.